Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick video here. I bought some gouache, well, a little less than a year ago, probably 6, 7, 8 months ago, and I haven't used it a whole lot. I did swatch it in one of the painter's diaries, but I wanted to swatch it for you guys. So I ended up getting the Turner's Design Gouache. This came from Jerry's Artorama. It was a pack of 12, and I think I ended up going with this because it was pretty reasonably priced, and I didn't want to get into super, I guess, just the super expensive stuff because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. So I've seen some conflicting stuff on this, on whether it's water or acrylic gouache. It does re-wet. To me, so far, all the gouache I've tried, when you try to re-wet it, it ends up kind of a little chalky or something. I don't know. It doesn't ever have the same consistency, but it does re-wet, so it is doable. I'm not probably gonna swatch the white. I have obviously used more of the white. I actually tend to keep it in my little thing and re-wet as I need it, kind of thing. But white doesn't ever show up, so I don't really see the point. But I just wanted to kind of show off some of the colors, and you guys can kind of see the consistency and stuff. And I actually have a couple of paintings that I want to try doing a gouache version and a watercolor version, like do a split panel and see how it goes. I mostly bought the gouache for when I need to put stuff on top. So, sometimes you need yellow or something to go on top. And that was kind of my main goal. But I do kind of want to try it for actual painting. So let's have a look at some of these colors. I will say these are some very bright colors. So a lot of you are definitely not going to like them. You're going to definitely want to desaturate them. This one needs to be mixed up just a little bit. So in this case, the tubes are plastic, and it makes it easier, I feel like, when they're plastic to actually mix them up because the plastic goes back into shape. So this is the Rose Violet. It's not quite opera pink, but it's a cousin. And the pigments are actually listed on the front of the tubes. So this is going to be PR 122. I am using a Rosemary and Company brush, size 6, and this is in my visual journal where I usually do these little swatches. All right, so there's your Rose Violet, very pink. And this is Permanent Red. I would definitely say this is a blue-based red. This is also PR 122. It's always amazing to me that you get different colors from the different pigments depending on what they do to it. And I feel like PR 122 is a pretty popular pigment. This is Permanent Yellow Orange, PO13 and PY55. Should have mixed these up first, but we'll make it work. This is what am I thinking? This reminds me of another color, Gamboge maybe. I don't think that's right, but it reminds me of something else. So the consistency on these is nice. I don't have an issue with it. Like I said, I got these mostly to kind of use over the top. And then I did a little bit, but most of the time when you need to use a color over the top, it's like, yellows and stuff. So this is definitely a bright lemon yellow. Oh, this is a mix. So PY3, PY74, and PW6. So like I said earlier, all of these are very bright colors. Nothing wrong with that, but curious what a drop of water will do on that. I got kind of a nice bloom. Just kind of, even I would probably desaturate these some. I'm not saying something because you guys know I don't like to do that. So this is the Perm Green Light. It is PG7 and PY3. Actually, and they thin up with water really easy. Like I said, I keep some of this, the green. Oop, I don't need that much water. Or excuse me, the white has kind of just stayed in my little star palette over there so that I can use it when need be. I would definitely not call these natural colors for most of them. This is the Permanent Green Mid, and it is PB15 and PY3. Keep flopping water everywhere. Let me mix this one up a little bit. Oh yeah, this is definitely a phthalo green. I feel like phthalos are just so easily recognizable. It's one of my favorites. I love the phthalos and I love the quinacridone colors. I think they're such pretty colors and so bold and just really nice. So that's the Perm Green Mid. That is what I would probably call like grass green or Kelly green. The Cyan Blue is PB17. Oh, PB17 and PY3. Get a little squish. I can't remember what pigment PB17 is off the top of my head. So, it's PB17, maybe like a Prussian blue. It's kind of the vibes it's giving me a little bit. There we go. It's a little deeper, I think, cyan than I'm used to seeing on something labeled that way. But I feel like I'm going to have to look PB17. I don't know if that is Prussian blue off the top of my head, but I do know that that's a darker blue. This is cobalt blue hue. So it is PB29 ultramarine and PB15. So it looks like a mix of ultramarine and phthalo. This is going to skew, I think, a little bit purple, maybe. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Like I said, it's been a long time since I pulled these out. Nope, this is just a really nice, bright blue. Sometimes I wonder if mixing the two phthalo blues, the red shade and the green shade, would end up making kind of like the perfect blue. I actually really like that blue. That's a pretty color. All right, and Brilliant Violet. We are looking at, this is fluorescent pigment, and that's all. So this is definitely not going to be any type of light fast. It's definitely a violet. So I think everybody sort of quantifies violet versus purple a little differently. To me, violet leans more pink, and purple is more of a classic Crayola type purple. I think some people say it the other way. I would definitely have to play with that mix because it's a little too violet for me. And then our burnt sienna. Which is a pretty solid, just medium brown, I guess. It does go over into orange, of course, because it's burnt sienna. And let's see. The pigment on this is PBR 7, PR 101, PBR 25. Then we've got Jet Black, which is PBK 1. This is, I think, a pretty neutral black. It's not super warm, it's not super cool. There we go. All right, so overall, I think if you're a beginner for the gouache stage, this is probably not a terrible set to have. For me, it would definitely require some mixing to get some of the colors that I would want, and to, tone down some of them. Like I said, they are very bright. I'm a little disappointed that this is a fluorescent pigment. I'm not a big fan of fluorescent, period. I think that's part of the reason I don't really like Opera Rose all that much. But I feel like there's so many violet colors out there that they could have picked one of those as opposed to a fluorescent color. So we know for a fact that this is not going to be light fast. Off the top of my head, I think is PR 122 light fast? I can't remember. But the light fastness on this set would definitely be in question. But again, if you just want to kind of get started with gouache, practice with it, use it in your sketchbook, that kind of thing, I think you would be fine. So I can't remember how much I paid for this. It wasn't a lot. It was like 30, maybe $40 for the 12. I know it was a lot cheaper than all the others that were an option at the time. So like I said, not a bad little set. Definitely requires some tweaking in my opinion. I'm kind of curious as to what that rose violet and that cobalt blue would make, actually. I like purple, what can I say? We're gonna do this. I'm probably a little off camera here. I just want to try it and see, because we know from color theory that we have to have, ooh, that's a really good bloom on that. We have to have a pink or a magenta to make a decent purple. So when you go to kindergarten and they tell you that purple is red and blue, they lied. Oop, that's not the color I want. That's the cyan. Get rid of that. I wanted this one. Just curious. This is why I don't like mixing, because you just have to go back and forth so much. I'm gonna need a little more pink. But you can see you kind of start getting an indigo color on that. Should have put my blue down first because it was going to be the stronger tinting strength. But I did not, so here we are. I'm just going to have to come in with a little more pink. There we go. So now you're getting into that more purple, what I consider purple color. So you can mix a decent purple with this if you want. And skip your fluorescent pigment. And of course you can tweak that as you see fit. There we go. So not bad. Like I said, I think this is a good base set, a good starting point, a good set if you're like me and you just kind of wanted to get your feet wet. You didn't want to spend a whole lot of money and just kind of feel out some gouache. So anyway, if anybody else has this set or wants to try it or anything, and you guys know tips or tricks for gouache, because I'm definitely very new to it, by all means, please let me know down below, and go out and get painting.